Now let's work on the front-end project. In order to create a new React project, you can use create React app package, but Vite is a better approach and it's a better tool for creating your new React project. So let's use Vite. Here you can see that I'm on vite.js.dev. Let's go to the get started. And here you can see that in order to create a new project using npm, we can use npm create Vite at latest. So let's do this. And let's open our folder, and in drive F you saw that I created user management full stack, and inside of that I created this backend.NET 7 project. Here I want to create a new project, so let's open a new terminal or a new command. Here I simply open a git bash here. That's it. Let's zoom a little and let's install it. So the command is npm create Vite at latest. So let's install it. In first step, we need to select a name. So I type frontend React.ts. That's it. This is for my name. Then we need to select a framework. I choose React. You can see that we have some options. So I use React with TypeScript, the first option. That's it. And you can see that the scaffolding is done. That's it. So let's close this. And you can see that the folder of frontend React.ts is created. Let's right click on it and open with VS Code. So this is our new project, and in this project we don't have the node modules yet, so let's install them. Let's open a new terminal here. You can see that I'm on the slash frontend React.ts. So here we need to say npm I, and we need to wait for it to be installed. And you can see that node module is here and our packages are installed. That's good. Let's open the package.json to see it. So you can see that this is a new project, and here in the dependencies we have React and React DOM. And also here you can see that we have TypeScript and Vite and ESLint and other dependencies. That's good. So let's have a little configurations here. So in the scripts and in the dev, after Vite, I want to have a space, and then I use dash dash port. And here you can use any port you want. For example, I want to use 3000. So this is it. And after this, let's clear here, clear. I want to install some npm package in our project. So let's install them. I will use npm I. The first package would be @hookform /resolvers. And let's have a space and then install axios and also chart.js. And also let's use moment. And after this, I want to use react-chart.js-2. And also let's install the React hook form. So this is React hook form. Then let's have the React hot toast. And after that, let's have the React icons. And after that, let's install React router down and also yoke. So let's check them one by one. So we need to install hook form /resolvers, then axios, then chart.js, moment, React chart.js2, React hook form, React hot toast, then React icons, and React router down, and yeah. So let's press enter to install them. We need all of them in our project. And they are installed. Let's open our package.json again. So you can see that in the dependencies, they are all installed and you can see them. So in order to use them, first we install them here using npm I and the name of the package, and they are installed. So this is the first step, and I think it's okay. So after this, I want to install the Tailwind CSS and configure it in my project. Tailwind CSS is a good package that helps you a lot. So let's do this. Let's go to the tailwind.css, and here go to the get started. And here you can see that there are some different options, and here we want to use the framework guide. So this is it, the framework guide. Let's move this a little, okay? So in the frameworks guide, let's go to the Vite, and here it says that first you need to install a new project using npm create Vite and this, and then cd. Okay, then you need to run this command npm install -d tailwind css post css auto prefixer. Let's copy this and go to the terminal and paste it. Let's press enter. So npm install -d tailwind css, post css, and auto prefixer. Let's wait for it to be installed. Okay, they are installed. So we use npm install -d, these three packages. -d means that we need to install them as dev dependencies. So let's open package.json again and go to the dev dependencies. And here you must see the post CSS and auto prefixer and tailwind. So tailwind, post CSS, and also we need to have auto prefixer. So they are installed. That's good. Let's go back to the Tailwind CSS document. And here it says that after this, you need to use npx Tailwind CSS init-p. So let's copy this and go back to our terminal. Let's say clear and then paste it npx Tailwind CSS init-p. And this command will create two files for us, tailwind.config.js and postcss.config.js. And you can see them, postcss.config and also tailwind config. So let's go back to the document again and see the next step. So in next step, it says that you need to use this content inside of tailwind.config.js. So let's copy this array from here. I copy this and go to the tailwind.config and paste it here. Okay, let's use format document. That's good. Let's go back to document again. So after this step, it says that you need to copy these three directives into one of your global CSS files. For example, index.css. So I will copy these three lines and I will go here. Let's close Tailwind CSS and post CSS config. Okay. Let's go to the src, and here the first step is we delete app.css. We don't need it anymore. And also let's go to the app.ts6 and delete everything, and go to the index.css and delete everything and paste these three lines: Tailwind base, Tailwind component, and Tailwind utilities. That's good. Now we have them, and the next step is let's go back to the document and see it. The next thing is we can run our project and we can now use the Tailwind CSS classes like text3x large and the other classes. So let's go back here, and we created them inside of index.css. That's good. Let's go to the app.ts6. Here I want to create a new component and use it. So I installed some extensions. Let me show you that. So if I go to the extensions and I search ES7 plus, I have this extension, and this allows me to create some component using RAFC and other commands. So this is it. You can use it. Also, I'm using Prettier. Let me show you that. And I'm using this Prettier code formatter, and by using that, you can see that I can simply use this format document and my document will be formatted automatically. So let's go to the app.ts6. We deleted everything. Now I want to create a new component. Let's use RAFCE, and I created a new component here. So this is just an app, and let's use some Tailwind CSS class names. For example, bg red and padding of 8. And I want to show you that I have another useful extensions of Tailwind. This is it, Tailwind CSS IntelliSense. This extension allows you to have some code snippets, and you can see that it suggests me, for example, if I press M, it suggests me M0, M1, and the others. This is it. So this is my app, and I'm using bg red of, let's say, 500. And if I use format document, you can see that my document will be formatted automatically. So now let's run our project using npm run dev to check the Tailwind CSS config. And here you can see that my project is running on port localhost 3000, because in the package.json, here we say that if I use npm run dev, you need to run with this port. So my project is on this port. Let's open it. Well, you can see that I have padding and I have this bg red. So this says that my Tailwind classes is working correctly. That's good. Let's go back to our project and minimize this terminal. So let's close package.json and also app.tsx. So here we are on the index.css and we installed the required package and the required configurations for using Tailwind CSS. After this, I want to have some reusable classes here to show you. So let's have some spaces between these. We can use some custom classes here inside of this index.css using @apply and also @layer. So let's use it. I assume that you are familiar with Tailwind, but if you are not, it's not a problem. You can simply just copy paste these codes from my GitHub. So we can use @layer of base, and we say that for the layer of base, for the body tag, I want to have some classes, and in order to use the Tailwind CSS classes here, we can simply use @apply. So I say that the minimum height of a screen must be used for the body in the base layer, and also I want to use a simple BG gray of 100 for my body. This is it. So I want to use this class for my body. Now if I press format document, you can see that it formatted automatically, and let's cut this space. So in the Tailwind components layer, we want to have some other classes. So let's use @layer of components. Inside of this, I want to have some different classes and selectors. So the first thing is I want to have a selector of input, and I want to have some classes for it. After that, I want to have some classes, for example, for the page template 1 and also page template 2 and also page template 3. So I want to have some reusable classes and use them inside of my project. This is a good solution to do it inside of the main layer of your CSS, but you can simply copy paste this from my GitHub. Let's close this and implement them. So the first thing is this input. And for this input, I want to have some general classes. For example, I can use @apply to use the Tailwind classes. Then I can use a width of full and also an outline of none. And I use border and border gray of 200. And also I use padding X of 2 and padding Y of 1. And also I use rounded of LG. So these classes would be used in all inputs of my project by default. This is it. So after this, I want to have some classes for my page template. So let's have @apply. Then we can have width of full, and also for the LG size, we use width of 4 divided by 5. So this is the 80%. Let's hover the mouse on it. You can see this is a width of 80%. Then we use minimum height of calculated of 100 view height minus 48 pixels. So this 48 pixel would be used for our site header. This is it. And after this minimum height, we can use flex, and also we can use justify of center and align items of center with padding of 4 and margin X of auto. Again, you don't want to type all of these. You can simply copy paste them from my GitHub, and that's it. So after that, I have the page template of 2, and here let's have some different classes, and we use the @apply with padding of 4 and also width of full, and again that minimum height because we want to use 48 pixels for our header, and then we use flex, and we use flex column and gap of 4. Then we want to have another page template, so let's use this @apply. Copy pasting is a good idea in your project, it's not a problem. Then let's use width of full and also height of full and padding of 4 and flex, and also flex of column and justify of start and align items of center, and also we use gap of 2 with BG of white and border of 2 and rounded of LG. So this is it. We created some different classes and we can use them in all of our projects. So let's format the document, and I think it's okay and it's done. So let's close index.css and see what we can do in the next step. So we created the configurations of our Tailwind CSS, and after that we can create our folders and our files and implement our functionalities. So let's start by creating our folder structure. always you need to have good folder structure for your project. It's really important to keep your project clean and maintainable. So let's do this. We have src, and inside of this src I want to have some different folders. So let's create them. For example, the first thing is inside of this src I want to have an asset, but the assets is created by, you can see that the assets is created by default with, but if you are using CRUD package, you need to create these assets for yourself. But because this assets is created by default with, I don't create it again. So after this asset inside of src, we need to create a new folder for our auth. We implement the auth functionality inside of this folder. Let's close the assets folder. Then inside of src, let's create another folder. After auth, we need to have components. This is it. And inside of these components, we need to have some different components. Let's have some folders for them. For example, let's have a dashboard. Inside of the component, we created this dashboard. Again, inside of the component, let's have a general folder for our general components, and then I'm clicking on this component to create the folder inside of it. Also, you can right click on the component, and here you can create new file or new folder. So again, I'm using the new folder with this right click. After this, I want to have a layout folder. So inside of components, I created dashboard general layout. Let's close this component and go back to src. And here inside of this src, we created components. Then we want to have the hooks. And after that, let's click again on src. So after the hooks, we want to have some pages. This is a good solution to have separate folders for your page and your components. You will see that later on the next sections, that why this is important to have separate folder for your page. So we created page. Inside of page, I want to have two different type of page. So let's have a dashboard folder inside of page, and also let's create a new folder inside of page and use a public. So we will have two different type of page, some public pages and some protected pages. So we created this folder for now, then we will work with them. So inside of the pages, we created dashboard and also public. So let's minimize this and click on the src again. So after the pages, I want to have a routes folder for configurations of my React router DOM and my routes. This is good. So let's click on src again. After the routes, I want to have another folder for the types, because I'm using TypeScript. It's a good idea to have some types, and we will create a folder of types, and we will keep all of the types inside of this folder. That's good. So after the types, let's create another folder. So after types, I want to have a utils, and we will keep our utility functions here inside of this folder. So let's have a quick overview of what we have done in the folder structure creation phase. So we have the assets. It is created by default with, but if you are using CRA, you need to create this for your assets, like fonts and images and the others. So after that, I have the auth, and then I have a components folder. Inside of the components, we have dashboard and general and layout. Then we have these hooks. Then we have pages, and inside of the pages, I have dashboard and I have public. Then I have the routes folder, then the types folder, and also then utils folder. So this is the folder structure. We want to use it, and if we need another folder, we will create them and use them later. So let's minimize everything and continue. In next step, I want to create the page, and I want to show you that what is the page we are going to use in this project. So we will create all of them first to see the overall view of our project. So let's go to the src, and here let's go to the pages. Inside of pages, I have dashboard and public. So let's create some files inside of them. For example, inside of the dashboard, I want to create a new file named adminpage.tsx. This is it, and here let's use RAFCE, and this is the page of admin. Let's delete this React, we don't need it for now, and close this. So this was the first one, and then let's right click and create a new file, and we use all message page.tsx. So this is the next page. Let's use RAFCE, and let's delete this React. We don't need it for now. Let's close it. So this is it. Now we have the admin page and all message page. Let's create another one. The next one is dashboard page.tsx, and let's use RAFCE. Good. Let's delete this React and let's close it. Then let's create a new file with name of inboxpage.tsx, and again let's use RAFCE, and let's delete this and also close this page. And after that, let's go back to the dashboard and right click and create a new file, and this time we want to create a manager page.tsx, and let's use RAFCE, delete this React and close the manager page. After that, let's create a new file inside of dashboard and paste the name of it, mylogs.page.tsx. You can simply copy paste these names from my GitHub repo. The link of it would be on the video description. So let's press enter and let's use RFC. By the way, the focus of me in this tutorial is on the security aspect of it. So you can copy a lot of codes from the repository and come with me to see how I'm using them. So let's delete this, and we created my logs page. Let's create the next one. So right click on the dashboard, new file with name of ownerpage.tsx and RAFCE. Let's delete this React and close this page. And then let's go to the dashboard, right click, new file, and then we create send message page.tsx. And let's create the component using RAFCE and delete this React and close it. Then let's go to the dashboard and create a new file with name of systemlogspage.tsx and use RAFCE. Then let's delete this React, we don't need it, and also let's close this file. Then let's right click and create the update role page.tsx and use RAFCE, and let's delete this React and let's close it. Then let's create a new page, so new file with name of user page.tsx, and let's use RAFCE, and let's delete this React and also let's close it. Then let's go here and create a new file with name of users management page.tsx, and let's use RAFCE. So what was this? Let's delete this React and also close it. So we created some different files inside of the dashboard, and this would be our page. So after this, let's close this dashboard for now, and then let's work on this public. So let's right click on it and create a new file with name of homepage.tsx, and inside of that I use RAFCE again, and I delete this React and let's close it. Then I want to create a new file here, and I want to create a login page.tsx, and let's use RAFCE and delete React and let's close it and continue. Then let's have a new file inside of public with name of notfoundpage.tsx. So you can see that I'm creating all of my pages in the initial stage of our tutorial to show you that this is the structure that you want to use. So let's delete that React and close this file for now. And now let's right click on the public and create a new file with name of registerpage.tsx and RAFCE and delete this React and close it. Let's create the next one, which is unauthorized page.tsx. So let's create the component of it using RFC and delete this React and close it. So let's minimize everything and check it. So inside of SRC and pages, we have dashboard and also we have public. So let's show it better. So we created all of these: admin page.tsx, all message page, dashboard page, inbox page, manager page, my logs page, owner page, send message page, system logs page, update role page, users management page, and inside of the public we created home page, login page, not found page, register page, and authorized page. So we created all the pages we want, and we will use them later in our project. So let's minimize this dashboard and public, and let's close these pages for now, and let's go to the next section. For the next step, I want to create a new file inside of these routes, and I will use the name of paths.ts. So I want to have some path inside of my project. Let's minimize this again. So let's create some paths inside of our file, and then we can use them in all of our projects. So let's create it. So we create an export const of the path of public, which equals to an object, and inside of this object we can have a home path, which can be the /route. So this is the route of public for our home. Then we can have a public path for the register, which can be /register. And now you can see the idea. So the next one is the login, and for the login we want to have a /login path or a /login route. And after that, for the unauthorized, I want to have a /unauthorized. And also after that, let's have a not found, which can be a /404. So this is the path of public, and you can see that this is a simple object, and we can use this object in all of our projects. So let's use format document. So this is the path of public. Let's copy. Or you know what, let's minimize it and then continue. So after this, I want to create an export const of path dashboard, which again equals to an object. So here I want to have a dashboard path which equals to a /dashboard. Then I want to have a users management path which equals to a /dashboard /users management, and we'll use it. After that, I want to have an update role path which can be a /dashboard /update role / username. And you know that when we are using React Router DOM, this can be a parameter. When we're using a colon, it says that after this colon, we are using a parameter which is username. After this, I want to have another path which is send message, and its value can be a /dashboard /send message. So everywhere you use path dashboard dot send message, it will be a /dashboard /send message. Let's continue, and after this send message, you want to have an inbox which equals to a /dashboard /inbox. After that, I want to have all messages, which is a /dashboard /all message. And also let's have a system logs which equals to a /dashboard /system logs. And then I want to have a my logs which is a /dashboard /my logs. Then let's have an owner which is a /dashboard /owner, and also admin, again /dashboard /admin, and a manager which is a /dashboard /manager. And also let's have a user which is a /dashboard /user. So this is it. Let's format our document. Now you can see that this is a good idea. So I created some paths inside of this path.ts, and I will use them in all of my project. Everywhere I want to use some path of my project, I can simply use this. For example, path dashboard or path dashboard.inbox, or for example, path public.login or path public.register. And I think this is a good idea to use this. So this is it. Now let's close it and go to the next step. Let's minimize everything. In next step, let's go to the src, and inside of this util, I want to create a new file with name of globalConfig.ts. We want to have some configurations for our project. You can use .env file, or you can use this globalConfig.ts, and you can use anything you want. So because this is just a simple tutorial, I use globalConfig.ts, and here I want to have some configurations for my project. So in first step, let's import path of dashboard and path of public from routes/path. We created them and we use them here and in all of our projects. So here I want to have some URLs for my project. For the first one, let's have an export const of host API key, which equals to HTTPS localhost port 7237/API. So this is the host API key of our backend. You can use any name for it, or you can use this in the end file. I will put all of them here. but you can use it in end file. So after this, let's have another one. For example, the name can be the register underline URL, which can be /auth/register. So we can use, if you want to register someone on the backend, you can see that you can use host API key plus register URL, and we will use it. You can see that on the next part. So let's create the next ones. So after the register underline URL, I want to have an export const of login URL, which equals to /auth/login, and also I want to have export const of me URL, which equals to /auth/me. So you saw these on the backend project. You can see that we are using all of them here, and we want to send some requests to them. So we create the URL of them here, and we use this on the page and the other functions. So after this, let's have another export const of users list URL, which equals to /auth/users. And after this, let's have some export const of update role URL, which equals to /auth/update role. After that, I want to have another export const of usernames list URL, which equals to /auth/usernames. And also let's have export const of all message URL, which equals to /message. After this, let's have another one for the create message URL, which equals to /message/create. And also let's have another one for the my message URL, which equals to /message/mine. And then I want to have a logs URL with the value of /log. So this is the route of logs URL. And after that, let's have another one for the my logs URL, which equals to /logs/mine. So this is some URLs, and you can use them inside of your project. After this, let's have another one for the auth routes. And here, I want to have an export const of path after register, which equals to path underline public dot login. And also I want to have another one with path after login, which equals to path of dashboard dot dashboard. And also let's have another one with the export const of path after logout, which equals to path of public dot home. So let's have a format document and close this and see what we have. So this is the URLs. You can see that this is the URLs of our backend, but this is the global configuration. So here we configure the routes of our auth. So we say that after the register, this is the route we want to use. This is path of public dot login, and you can see that this is coming from this path of public. So if you go here, so path of public dot login is /login. So by using this in all of our project, when we use path after register, it would be this path of public.login. And if you want to change it in all of our project, instead of changing them one by one in all of our project files and folders, we can simply change it here, and it would be updated in all of our projects. Also, we have path after login, which is path of dashboard.dashboard, and path after logout, which is path public.home. So here you can say that what is your path after the register and login and logout, and we will use them. So I think it's completed. Let's close this global config and path.ts and go to the next step. In this step, I want to create a new file for our Axios instance. So let's go to the utils, and here I want to create a new file. For the name of it, I use Axios instance. Again, you can simply copy paste these files from my GitHub repo. So let's create it. And here, let's create a const of Axios instance, which equals to Axios. Let's press Ctrl space. It is not importing. Let's press Ctrl dot. Again, it's not working. So let's import it. So import Axios from Axios. That's it. No, Axios is imported. So let's use Axios dot create, and we can simply export default this Axios. This is it. So why we are using this? Because here we can use a base URL and some interceptor. So let's create it. Inside this axios.create, we can pass an object to it. And here, if I press Ctrl space, you can see that I have a lot of configurations. I want to use a base URL for it. Base URL, and this base URL can be the host API key. So this host API key is from globalConfig. Let's check it again. This is host API key. So if I use Axios instance in my project, its base URL would be this host API key, which is this. That's so good, and you can use it in all of our projects. After this, we can use interceptors, and interceptors will be run inside of our requests and responses, and it will affect on all of our requests and responses, and we have control over it. So let's use it. So I say axiosInstance dot the interceptors response. I want to use this. And what is this? Inside of this, the first thing is we can have a response, and we say that if you have the response, you can simply return this response, and we don't want to change it on the success situations. But if you have an error, this is important for us. So if you have an error, we can simply return a promise that reject. That's it. So inside of this promise, I want to check that if the error dot response exists. So we use this error dot response and error dot response. Else, we can simply return a single string like general axios error happen. So what is this? This is a promise that reject, and we want to use the error dot response because when we are using axios, we have a big object, but we want to use its response directly inside of our catch block. So this is it, and you will see this when we are working with the Axios instance. So let's use a format document, and let's close this Explorer. So this is it. So what we have done in this step, we created Axios instance, which equals to axios.create with base URL of host API key, and also we export defaulted it. But before that, we use this axios instance.interceptors.response.use, and we use the response. And in the case of a successful response, we simply return the response. We don't want to change it. But if we have an error, we can simply return a promise that reject, and inside of this, we will reject this. So we check that if error.response exists, we return the error.response, else we return general axios error happen. That's it. So let's format the document, and I think it's okay for this section. So let's close it and go to the next step.